There are three core elements that constitute the action of passing off. This video will explain the third element of damage. As well as satisfying all other requirements, it is crucial that the plaintiff prove this third element. As Justice Walton acknowledged in the Athlete's Foot case, if there can be no damage, therefore there can be no action. The same approach can be seen in the Australian case of Conagra and McCain Foods Proprietary Limited, where the court made it clear that it is the likelihood of deception among consumers and the likelihood of damage that are the critical requirements to establish a case of passing off. So this element requires that the plaintiff suffers or is likely to suffer damage by reason of an incorrect belief resulting from the defendant's misrepresentation that the source of their goods is the same as the source of the plaintiff's goods. There is no requirement that actual damage be shown, only a likelihood of damage is sufficient. This was established in Henderson and Radio Corporation. Mainly 4 heads of damage have been recognized by the courts. Although there are quite a few number of cases explaining the heads of damage, the focus of this video will be on the 4 main cases relevant to each head of damage. So first is the loss of sales or existing trade. This occurs where the misrepresentation diverts trade and thus profit from the claimant to the defendant. In Reckitt and Coleman Products Limited and Borden Incorporation, Lord Oliver found that if the defendant were allowed to sell their product in the shape of a lemon, then that misrepresentation would divert sales away from the plaintiff and towards the defendant, resulting in certain financial damage. Second is the damage to the reputation. This arises where the defendant's misrepresentation leads the public to believe that the goods or services of the claimant and the defendant are somewhat related. In Associated Newspapers and Insert Media, the claimant was the publisher of 2 national newspapers. The defendant settled with retail news agents to have advertising materials inserted into the papers without the publisher's knowledge. The Court of Appeal held that since there was a real risk that the publisher would be thought to be responsible for the accuracy and the honesty of the inserts, there was an obvious risk of loss of goodwill and reputation by the publisher. Third is the loss of opportunity to expand the business. In Lego System and Lego Emblem Stitch, an Israeli company was marketing gardening tools under the brand name Lego. The court found that the Lego's reputation extended beyond toys and was a household word. So even though there was no intention to expand at this time, Lego might want to extend to gardening tools in the future. Fourth is the loss of potential to exploit the goodwill in the future. In Henderson and Radio Corporation, it was alleged that the wrongful acts of the defendant are likely to affect the plaintiff's capacity to earn fees from enabling the reputation to be used in connection with commercial products. The court found that that misrepresentation had caused the requisite damage. So in this video we learned that mainly 4 heads of damage have been recognized by the courts, these being loss of sales or existing trade, damage to the reputation, loss of opportunity to expand the business, and the loss of potential to exploit the goodwill in the future. This recognition of the many heads of damage highlights the importance of the concept of damage in the tort of passing off and its relationship to the establishment of goodwill and reputation.
Created using Powtoon.